Hare Krishna. Welcome once again to the Narayaneeyam session. Today we'll do chapter 7 of the Narayaneeyam. Okay. In this chapter, the poet Sri Melpattur Narayana Bhattadripad speaks about the manifestation of Brahma, the creator of the universe. Okay, so as usual, let's read the first shloka of the chapter and then we'll do a quick translation. Okay. एवं देवचतुर्दशात्मकजगद्रूपेण जातः पुनः तस्योर्ध्वं खलु सत्यलोकनिलये जातोऽसि धाता स्वयं यं शंसन्ति हिरण्यगर्भमखिलत्रैलोक्यजीवात्मकं यो भूल्स्वीतरजो विकारविकसन्नानासि सृक्षारसा. So here the poet starts by saying, "O Lord." Now we know that this Narayaniyam is the form of a prayer. Okay, the poet is talking to the Lord. Okay, so the poet says, "O Lord, thou who manifested in the form of Virata Swarupa or the cosmic universe, now by thy own will manifested Brahma in Satyaloka, which is the topmost of all the 14 planetary systems." We have learnt about these 14 planetary systems in the previous classes, right? So now this Brahma is known as the Hiranyagarbha or the golden egg, the cosmic intelligence of all the beings in all the three worlds. So which are the three worlds? These three worlds consist of the 14 planetary systems. The middle loga is Bhurloka, and the upper planetary systems together are called the Swarloka, and the lower planetary systems together is known as the Patala Loka. Okay. Now Brahma, with an increase in Rajoguna or the mode of passion, was desirous of creating other living entities. But in spite of all his efforts, he did not know where to start and how to create, the means to start creation. And he was a bit worried. So as he was thinking of what to do, suddenly he hears the word tapa being spoken twice. Okay, tapa. What is the meaning of tapa? So he looked, Brahma seated on the lotus. He looks around the surrounding waters. Brahma sits on the lotus that sprouts from Garbhodaka Vishnu's navel. So he was seated on the lotus and he looked around the surrounding waters. At that time, the universe was engulfed in water. And he looked around, but he could not find the source of these words. He could not find the person who spoke these words. But then in an instant, he realized the meaning of these words. What is the meaning of tapa? Tapa means what? Tapas or penance. And then understanding the meaning, he immediately did penance, okay, and worshipped the Lord. He did penance for 1000 divine years, that which is almost equal to 360,000 earth years. Okay, and Bhattadri says, pleased with his penance, O Lord, thou revealed thy abode, the Vaikuntha, to Bhattadri, to Brahma. Okay, so now in the next few verses, Bhattadri describes the abode of the Lord, Vaikuntha. What is the meaning of Vaikuntha? Kunta means sorrow. Vaikuntha means the place where there is no sorrow. That is, the Lord's abode is full of bliss, unlimited happiness. Okay, so the next three verses are as a description about the Vaikuntha Lokas. Okay, this Vaikuntha Loka is beyond the 14 worlds, 14 planetary systems, and is beyond the material world. Okay, and it is free of Maya, and hence there is no sorrow or anger, delusion, fear, or any such mental modifications. It is shining with the Lord's effulgence and is full of supreme bliss. Now this abode, the Vaikuntha planets, which is capable of removing all sins, is inhabited by divine beings who have a deep blue complexion similar to that of the Lord. And again, they have 4 arms. Again, similar like the Lord, they have 4 arms studded with jewelry, adorned with jewelry, studded with gems and precious stones, the effulgence of which enlightens the whole place. Now these divine beings, they travel in aerial cars. They live in aerial cars. They travel in aerial cars or aerial planes. Okay, only pure devotees, sinless souls, sinless beings can reach the Vaikuntha planets. Okay, and here again the Lord's consort, goddess Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of wealth, resides there in Vaikuntha, and she is surrounded and served by beautiful damsels. Okay, she is always present in Vaikuntha. She never leaves the Lord. She is always there due to her deep attachment for the fragrance of the Lord's lotus feet. Okay, and since the goddess of wealth, she is the goddess of wealth. Since the goddess of wealth resides there, the place is abundant in riches. And Bhattadri says, all glories to Vaikuntha, the divine abode of the Lord, which was shown to Brahma. And Bhattadri prays to the Lord to grant him Vaikuntha as well. Now, after showing Brahma his divine abode, the Lord reveals himself to Brahma. Okay, the Lord was seated on a gem-studded throne with a golden crown on his head, and his arms were decorated with jewels, and he was holding the Shankha Chakra Gada Pushpam in his forearms. What are they? The Shankha, that is the conch shell known as the Panchajanyam, the disc, the Sudarshana Chakra, the mace, the Kaumudagi, and the lotus flower. And there was a splendid halo around him which illuminated all directions. Okay, and his chest was adorned with the Srivatsa mark, and the Kaustuba jewel worn by the Lord on his neck gave him a crimson hue. Okay, and he looked more beautiful than the dark rain clouds and the blue lotus flowers. Okay, and he was shining like thousands of suns. That's what the Bhagavad Gita also says, Divi Surya Sahasrasya. That is, the Lord's effulgence may be similar, can be compared to the effulgence of thousands of suns shining together in the sky. Now, this form of the Lord gave immense pleasure to Brahma. And Bhattadiri prays to the Lord, the source of all creation, to reveal that form to him as well. Bhattadiri says, O Lord, may that divine form of thine deign to eradicate all my ailments. Now, Brahma was wonderstruck by this vision of the Lord, and he was overwhelmed with ecstasy. He prostrated before the lotus feet of the Lord and requested the Lord, prayed to the Lord to grant him the required knowledge for creation. And he also requested the Lord to grant him knowledge of his unique dual and non-dual aspects. And the Lord held Brahma's hands and assured him that he would get the appropriate knowledge for creation. He also assured Brahma that he would not be tainted by the act of creation. Okay, and Bhattadri ends this chapter by saying, thus motivating Brahma, O Lord, thou remained in his heart and prompted him in the act of creation. O Lord of such benevolence, kindly hasten my recovery, he says. The Lord resides within us, within all of us as Paramatma, prompting us from within. All right. So we are just instruments in his hands. Okay. Everything happens by the will of the Lord, and there's a reason for everything that happens. The only thing we are not able to understand with our limited knowledge. Everything happens, everything is planned beautifully. I'll share a small story and then we'll wind up with that. All right. There was a sweeper in a well-known temple, okay, and who was a great devotee of the Lord. So he used to see so many devotees coming every day with lot of requests to the Lord. He felt pity and he said, "Oh Lord, you're standing there from morning till night listening to all these woes of the people. Can we exchange places? Can I take your place for a day? Maybe I can give you some rest." And the Lord agrees. He said, "Okay, no problem. I can take a break perhaps, but on one condition. You should not open your mouth. Don't take any decisions. Just stand there and listen to all that people have to say." The sweeper agrees. And the next day morning, the sweeper takes the place of the deity inside the temple. Okay. Early morning, a rich man comes into the temple and he stands in front of the deity and prays for the welfare of his business. That is, business prospers. That is, business should prosper. Okay, and he offered a very nice donation to the Lord. Okay, And as he was walking out, as he was turning and walking out of the temple, suddenly the wallet full of money fell in front of the temple, in front of the sanctum sanctorium, and he was not aware of it. He just walks out. Now this sweeper come DT wanted to call him back and tell him that his purse has fallen, that his wallet has fallen, but since he had promised the Lord that he would not speak, he just keeps quiet. Next, there's a poor man who comes into the temple, a pure devotee of the Lord, and he offers one small coin to the Lord. He puts that one coin into the undi and says, "Oh Lord, this is all that I have. My family is in dire need of money, but we do not have anything. But I know that you will do whatever is good for me. Please, oh Lord, engage me in your service. That's all that I ask of you." So he was standing there with eyes closed and praying ardently to the Lord. And when he opens his eyes, he sees this purse full of money. He says, "Oh Lord, you have heard my prayers and you have given me this money. Thank you so much." He takes the purse and he walks out. Now, again, this sweeper come DT wanted to call him back and tell him that this belonged to the rich man. But then, since he had promised the Lord that he wouldn't speak, he just keeps quiet. Now, the poor man walks out, and a sailor, another devotee of the Lord, comes there to offer his obeisances to the Lord. So he was going on a long trip that evening. So before his journey, he had come to offer his prayers, and he prayed to the Lord for a safe journey. It was at that time that this rich man comes back with the police, and he found this only the sailor there. So he said, since nobody else was there, he thought that the sailor might have stolen his purse, and he had him arrested. Now this sweeper come DT inside the temple thought, this is enough. Now I can't keep quiet anymore. And he says, from inside the sanctum sanctorium, they hear the voice saying, "No, this person is innocent. He's not stolen the purse. The person who has actually taken the purse has just gone out. You will find him outside the temple." Now they release this sailor, and then they go in search of the actual culprit. The sailor turns towards the Lord, thanks him, and then goes out. So then, at that night, the real Lord comes back to the temple and asks the sweeper, "How was your day?" And the sweeper says, "Oh Lord, now I realize that your days are not that easy. But I have done one good thing." And he narrates the entire incident to the Lord. The Lord gets very upset and he says, "What did you do? I asked you to keep quiet. I told you not to take any decisions. Why did you do this?" And then the Lord explains. He says, "That rich man who gave me a big donation, the entire money was earned by unfair means. He is not a straightforward person. Whereas that poor person, the one coin that he offered to me was out of full faith. And he was in dire need of money, and that is why I gave it to him." Now, the sailor who was to sail that evening, that ship was to sink. That ship is going to sink in the evening, and I wanted to rescue the sailor, and that is why I had him arrested by the police, so that he would be in prison and he would not sail that evening. Okay, so he would be rescued from that accident. So then the sweeper realizes, "Oh Lord, my goodness, what is all this?" And the Lord said, "I wanted to reduce the rich man's karma by giving a portion of his earnings to the poor man by way of donation, so that his karma, his bad karma, would be reduced." So then the sweeper realized what actually was the Lord's work. So everything that happens is by the will of Lord, and everything happens for a reason. Okay, we are not able to understand that with our limited intelligence. Everything happens for the good. We think that it is bad. Whatever we think is bad is for the good, and whatever we think is good might be bad. We don't know. So everything happens by the Lord's plan. Okay, and his plans are really wonderful. Okay, so we'll wind up here and we'll meet again with chapter 8. Thank you for watching. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.